More South Africans sinking deeper into debt by borrowing money to cover their daily living expenses, and some of that includes the basics. A FinScope Consumer survey has revealed that in 2022, many people borrowed money specifically for food. We're now joined to discuss this by Jabulani Khumalo, Senior Data and Analytics Specialist at FinMarket Trust. Thank you very much, sir, for your time this afternoon. Do we know how the study was conducted?
A very good afternoon to you and the viewers. Yes, the survey was conducted last year between August and November. And the results represent around 43 million adults, South Africans, defined as those who are 16 years and older. We went to deep rural areas, urban areas, to 9 provinces of our country.
Let's talk about some of, or maybe let's start here. What were you looking for? The
reason why we established this survey back in 2002, we wanted to understand how people source their livelihoods and how they manage their money. And at the back of our mind by then, we knew that vast majority of South Africans were excluded. And then we created an indicator that will then measure the number of people who are included. By financial inclusion, we were saying, are they able to use their bank account? Are they insured? Can they send and receive their money freely at a very affordable price and so forth? And then if you look at the FinScope 2022, we did receive the picture of our financial inclusion, and indeed, the picture looked rosy, as 96% of our adult population are now having access to formal financial services.
Be that as it may, you found that about 12 million adults immediately withdraw all money that is deposited into their accounts, effectively using their bank accounts as mailboxes. What does that mean?
It means two things. That yes, we do have those great numbers of financially included adults, but then when we took a deep dive to understand the levels of our financial inclusion, we found some gaps. Correctly, as you have said, the majority, around 12 million, will only use those bank accounts as a mailbox, meaning that money will be deposited in those accounts, and then they'll cash it as soon as it's deposited. And we try to find out what actually drives that. You will appreciate the fact that most of the people who are doing that, it will be people who are receiving social grants, and those social grants are being driven by the child's grant. So that money, it's defined as a necessity money. So they have said no, they need all of the money that gets deposited into the bank account. But others will then say they prefer cash. And when the preference of cash comes in, that's when we start asking ourselves whether, if you go to the township, does the ecosystem allow them to leave their monies in their account and then start using the digital financial services? And the answer is no. Maybe the ecosystem is not that conducive. We do know that no, we don't have a lot of ATMs in the townships. And the more we experience the ATM bombings and so forth, the more we are seeing lesser of these ATMs there, but also the cost factor in terms of using the POS in your puzzle shop and so forth. All of these things comes into mind. But not only that, we are also concerned about the high level of people who are insured. I think we are sitting at around 70% of other population who are insured. But if you look at the drivers of those of the uptake, it's mainly driven by funeral cover. So I think we've just relapsed back to pre-COVID-19 behaviors where people were actually pumping a lot of money into the funeral cover. There are a lot of billions that are being pumped in there, and we strongly feel that no. they can really diversify and take this sum of the money to other insurance products. Because one thing that we have noted as well is that in 2021, a lot of people experienced floods and the unrest. And we are start seeing the results of the climate change. Around 2.5 million of adults came from the household that experienced floods last year. And around 40% of them, they did nothing to cope with those disasters.
Mr. Khumalo, very quickly for us, if we speak of the ecosystem of debt, you also found that the main reasons that people are borrowing money, or they borrowed money in 2022, is to cover basics such as food.
Yes, and this was not really surprising, given the fact that now we have also seen that 15 million adults were financially vulnerable in 2022. And also around 14.6 million were severely distressed, meaning that no, they were not able to pay for their living expenses during the month. So it was not surprising to express that now between 8 to 10 million adults borrowed money to buy food and groceries, while further 4 million borrowed to buy clothes. Generally, it is not a good idea to buy consumable items like food on an interest-bearing credit. But it seems people who borrowed money using lines of temporal loans, revolving credit, and stock cards were less likely to be severely distressed. This means we will continue to see more people borrowing money for living expenses as the living cost, including energy, food, continues to balloon. What is more troubling is that just a few days ago, SEP increased the interest rates. They will eventually pay more.
Yeah, and today the fuel price is going up come midnight. The curious case of South Africa where people borrow money to buy food. Quite telling. I wish we had more time to get into this, but no doubt we'll invite you again. Thank you very much, Mr. Khumalo, sir.